Welcome to Wrestling with Snipes. Today we'll be looking back at AEW Dynamite for January 15th, 2024, AEW Maximum Carnage. The show begins with Brian Cage going one-on-one with the returning Kenny Omega. They lock up to start the match and Omega tries to lift Cage, but he's too weak and Cage hits him with a double axe to the back. Cage then hits a fall-away throw. Cage goes for a powerbomb, but Omega reverses it into a hurricanrana. Then they roll to the outside and Brian Cage presses Omega over his head and drops him on the announce table. While the ref is distracted, Callis then attacks Omega. Then we come back from commercial break and we see Cage hitting a pump handle buster. 1, 2, Omega kicks out. Then Cage goes to the top, but Kenny catches him and hits a sunset flip powerbomb, followed by a running knee. 1, 2, Cage kicks out. He then hits a running knee, followed by a third running knee. Then Omega hits the one-winged angel. 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega wins his first match back in AEW, but then is attacked by Archer and Fletcher. Ospreay then runs out to even up the odds. Ospreay clotheslines Fletcher out of the ring. Omega and Ospreay go face to face. Then Ospreay leaps out of the ring, hitting a crossbody on Fletcher. Then Takeshita comes out and attacks Kenny. They trade right hands until Fletcher and Takeshita lay out both Ospreay and Omega. Then next, out comes Ricochet. He says a picture is worth 1,000 words, and on the Tron they show a picture of Ricochet holding up a bloody Swerve Strickland. Then Swerve's music hits, and out of nowhere from behind, Prince Nana jumps in the ring and hits Ricochet with a chair. As Nana starts dancing, out comes Swerve with a chain wrapped around his neck. Swerve goes to start whipping Ricochet, but he rolls out to the outside of the ring and jumps over the barricade. Swerve goes after him, but Ricochet runs out of the arena. Swerve goes after him to the outside, and we see snow on the ground. Then the next contest is a trios match with the Hurt Syndicate against Mark Briscoe and the tag team champions Private Party. The Hurt Syndicate attack them before the bell rings. The match officially begins with Briscoe hitting a missile dropkick off the second rope to MVP. MVP then gets the upper hand and tosses Briscoe to the outside and tags in Benjamin. Benjamin hits a body slam on Briscoe on the outside as we go to break. We come back from commercials and Briscoe hits a cannonball to the outside on Bobby Lashley. Cassidy takes out MVP with a clothesline, dumping both men to the outside. Then Lashley slams the other guy from Private Party. Zay gets hit with a German suplex. Lashley re-enters the ring and hits him with a spear. Benjamin then hits Cassidy with a German suplex followed by a super kick. 1, 2, 3. The Hurt Syndicate pick up the dub and are soon to be AEW Tag Team Champions. Then out comes the Last Outlaw, Double J, Jeff Jarrett. Jarrett says the last couple weeks sure have been humbling for me. Then he's interrupted by Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. Max says, last week I gave you the opportunity of a lifetime, bud, and you had the audacity to turn me down. Jarrett cuts him off and says, you were too lazy to enter the casino gauntlet last week. MJF yells, don't ever interrupt me, old man. I am a living legend. They call you the Last Outlaw because the last thing they see is Jeff Jarrett before your favorite wrestling company dies. You're a raging alcoholic, a recovering alcoholic. Oh my. How about I send your ass packing back to rehab? Jarrett says, Max, you think you're gonna hurt my feelings? Max, I was you before you were you. You need me because you're drowning in your own shit. You're scared of becoming a one-hit wonder. Max says, you know what pisses me off, Slapnuts? Just because you were best friends with Owen Hart, you think you are owed a grand finale. You are a leech riding the coattails of your deceased friend. Oh my. Jarrett then clocks MJF and starts punching him with left hands. Then security rushes out to the ring to break it up. Karen Jarrett shows up and MJF grabs Karen, throws her at MJF and jumps out of the ring as Jeff Jarrett looks very upset. Then the next match is a one-on-one contest with Christian Cage against Hook. Hook attacks Cage from behind on the apron. Then they get into the ring and the bell rings and Christian begs off and then he gets up and he gives Hook a hug. Hook then hits Christian with a belly-to-belly suplex. We come back from break and Cage hits a reverse DDT for a 2 count. Cage then chokes Hook on the second rope. Cage goes to the top and hits a frog splash. 1, 2. Hook kicks out. Cage then hits a second and a third frog splash, but still only a 2 count. Then Hook clotheslines Cage twice. Then a third clothesline in the corner. Hook then hits a Northern Lights suplex with a bridge for a 2 count. Christian gets up, he goes for a kill switch, but Hook reverses it into the Taz mission. Then Nick Wayne and Kip Sabian jump in the ring, causing a DQ. It looks like Cage is gonna go for a concerto, but out comes Samoa Joe to clear the ring. Samoa Joe is back. Then next, out comes the AEW Women's Champion, the Glamour, Mariah May. She will be watching the next contest closely because the winner gets a shot at her title at AEW Grand Slam Australia. It's time for the Casino Gauntlet. The number 1 entrant is Chris Statlander, followed by number 2, Jamie Hayter. They start off with a lockup and May is ripping on Shivani on commentary. Hayter grabs a headlock, then hits a shoulder block, and number 3 comes out and it's Megan Bayne. Who? Bayne hits a shoulder thrust into Statlander's stomach. Bayne then hits a flying clothesline, taking out Hayter. Then out comes number 4 and it's Julia Hart. Hayter goes to the ramp and meets Julia Hart and hits her with a suplex. We come back from break and number 5 comes out and it's Willow Nightingale. Willow gets into the ring and eats a big boot from Bayne. On the outside of the ring, we see Hayter throwing Julia into the barricade. Willow and Statlander team up and suplex Bayne in the middle of the ring, and out comes number 7. It's Tony time, Tony Storm. Then we see Willow jumping off the apron, hitting a crossbody on Bayne onto the outside. Then Willow poses. Then we see number 8, Harley Cameron, comes out. Hayter hits Cameron with a released German suplex, and then out of nowhere, Tony hits a small package on Julia. 1, 2, 3. It's Tony time. Tony Storm wins and will challenge the Glamour, Mariah May, for the AEW Women's Championship at Grand Slam Australia. Then it was time for the main event of the evening for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, as the challenger, Powerhouse Hobbs, challenges the champion, Jon Moxley. Moxley comes out from the outside in the snow to a red-hot arena in Cincy. Before the match starts, the Death Riders surround the ring, distracting Hobbs so Moxley can attack him from behind. Hobbs then tackles Mox into the corner. He gets on the second rope and he starts biting Mox's ear in the corner. He then hits Mox with an elbow and Mox is busted wide open. Hobbs hits a big lariat followed by a clothesline in the corner. Hobbs rolls to the outside and he's hit by a big knee from Wheeler Yuta. Back in the ring, Hobbs hits Mox with a spine buster for a 2 count. He turns around and he's hit with a briefcase by Shafir. Moxley then rolls Hobbs up for a 1, 2, but Hobbs kicks out. Mox then hits the Death Rider and locks in the Bulldog choke. Then Hobbs goes to sleep and Moxley retains the AEW World Championship. The Death Riders attack Hobbs after the match. Then Rated FTR come out to make the save and the Death Riders bounce through the crowd to close out Dynamite.